All right, so this is the editorial cartoons unit. This is a unit that integrates both religion and language arts curriculum expectations. We will be using editorial cartoons to look at social justice issues in our society and around the world. And hopefully, after this unit, you will have a better understanding of how comics are used to send a message that can at least make you think about these different issues that are affecting humans and hopefully use any ideas that you take away from this unit to change the world. All right, so first let's look at what is an editorial. So an editorial, which is a noun, is opinionated content. It's usually in the form of an essay or cartoon that seeks to persuade and reflects the point of view of the author, the media organization's editors, or its publishers. A news report is a noun you're more familiar with, and it's text that informs readers about current events by using facts and interviews. So editorial cartoons combines the two. It is opinionated content, so it could be biased, but it also communicates a message about current events. Okay, so editorial cartoons are usually seen in newspapers, magazines, and since we don't have the paper copies of newspapers as much as we used to, you might see them, you might see the digital versions more often these days. What are editorial cartoons in particular? So editorial cartoons use pictures and text to make a statement that are usually political, religious, or controversial in nature. They express opinions about a wide range of topics. Images of well-known people, places, and things are often used to send a message, although not always. And editorial cartoons can be challenging to understand because you often need the context or background knowledge to be able to understand the message within it. Okay, so let's take a look at this cartoon here. So looking at this, it's certainly figures that are familiar to us, although they don't necessarily reflect a famous figure. So I can tell by the images that I see that this is in the context of a classroom, and she is likely the teacher. Okay, by the way, she's looking at the students or the kids. What she's holding a ruler and a book. And then because these two children here are writing on the blackboard, so that just supports the idea that this is in a classroom context. Okay, now I see that they're writing different text on the board, and the teacher is thinking at least their fine motor skills are improving. And then you kind of need to figure out what she means by that. And then so you actually read the words that they're writing on the board, and it's words like LOL, OMG, ROFLMAO, and so on. And the little boy says, Miss Picklebottom, how do you do the winky smiley face emoji in cursive? And then if I look up here, there is some more text that will help support my understanding. It says news item, proposal to require cursive lessons in grade school. So this was a big topic in the last couple of years that the youth, the young people in our society, don't know how to read cursive anymore. And cursive can be useful in different ways. So teaching them cursive would help us become better readers in one way, definitely become better writers also. But the problem is that we are so driven by technology and texting and using short forms and emojis that really the words that students and young people are most familiar with are words like LOL, OMG, ROFLMAO, and so on. Okay, and then that's there's a bit of humor in here too, where another thing that the boy would like to learn how to write in cursive is the winky smiley face emoji. Okay, so there's definitely humor that is sometimes incorporated into editorial cartoons. All right, on a more serious note, let's take a look at this cartoon. Okay, so what I have here on the right are some steps that, some guiding questions to help us look critically at an editorial cartoon and understand the message better. Okay, so first we're going to look at the images and text in the cartoon. Are there any exaggerations in the cartoon? Does anything look familiar? So first I'm looking at the text. I see a lady on the right side and a man who is disproportionately smaller on the left side. Now, this lady here, she has different features that give me an idea of what she might look like in person. I also take note of the surroundings, and this tells me that she's on a bus. I note the words moral courage, and then I see her purse, and it says she's Rosa Parks. And oh, okay, that makes sense. She could look like Rosa Parks. She's sitting on the bus, and there was a historical event where she stood up for her rights, okay, when she was asked to vacate her seat on the bus. Okay, I know what this context is in. Now, what about this guy here? Well, he's much smaller. Who is he? Don't know, but the words here say our leaders today. Okay, he must be representing our leaders today, possibly even the leaders from the past. And then he's trying to tell this lady that that's his seat, and she's just looking at him with disdain. Um, so we know that what this guy is doing isn't right, but how exactly is that reflected in this comic, and what is the comic trying to say? So I'm looking at her size, meaning she's bigger in size, and she represents moral courage. And he is our leader today, who is much smaller in size. So I can deduce that moral courage is something bigger than anything that our leaders today is ever going to represent. That's the conclusion that I've come up to that. Now, again, as I've mentioned in the previous slide, you might need to be more familiar with past and present events, as indicated by this reflection, this guiding question right here. What past and/or present event is shown here? So we are familiar with Rosa Parks's contribution to history. Okay, so that is something that we do know. But then I'm tying all of the images together and my understanding of the context, using my knowledge of past and present events to help me understand what exactly the cartoonist is trying to say. So you will not have a task for today, but this introduction video is definitely going to help you be successful in the rest of the tasks for the rest of this unit going forward. So on the next day, we will be looking at one of the social justice issues that we'll be covering for this unit, and you will be assigned a response task afterwards. So thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next day.